It's round 3 of the Easton Hoyt Pro-Am here at the Bossier City Center in Bossier City, Louisiana for the Pro Pressure Point Shootdown. As we prepare for our first shootdown of the 6 that we have on deck today. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Greg White, and the stage is set here after very interesting qualifying matches out in Camp Minden, Louisiana, where we had a variety of, well, we had cloud cover, we had darkness in the morning, we had very interesting terrain, and it was definitely dark for a lot of the shooters, but now the qualification is done and we have our top 5 ready to get rolling. So let's go ahead and get to the third member of our broadcast team, PJ Riley, who's going to introduce our shooters to the field of play.
All right, let's get things started with our first division of the evening. We have Senior Pro. Your 5th place qualifier with a score of 410 bonus rings. From Spencer, Indiana, shooting for Elite, Darrin Christenberry. And our 2nd place qualifier with a score of 411 bonus rings. From Clarksville, Tennessee, shooting for Prime, Richard Teasley. Our number 3 qualifier with a score of 401 and 9 bonus rings. From Lacona, Iowa, shooting for Matthews, Jeff Hopkins. And our 2nd place qualifier with a score of 402 and 9 bonus rings. From Chillicothe, Illinois, shooting for Matthews, Kevin Koch. And our number 1 qualifier with a score of 403 and 9 bonus rings. From Rose Hill, Virginia, shooting for Hoyt, Richard Owens.
Thank you, PJ. All right, the rules are very simple. If you want to shoot, you're up to 12.
All right, so we're ready to get action going, and of course this is the Senior Pro category, so not known distances here. These archers had to judge the distance. They were given an opportunity 10 minutes before we started this event to take a look and get a good number. And of course the way they qualified, Richard Owens is going to be on our first target. That's going to be the Stan Hyena. Target number 2 is going to be the Elevation Impala, the Shibuya Javelina, the Gold Tip Mule Deer, and Bow Doodle Grazing Doe on target 5 as we look at our commentating partner, Darrin Christenberry, who comes in here in 5th place with 10 bonus rings on 400-point score. And we kind of knew this was coming. I had an opportunity to talk to Darrin at the beginning of the weekend, and I said, we're going to see you in the booth this weekend? And he said, I don't think we are. Richard Owens at 403 coming in here with 9 bonus rings after his big win at our last event, which was the Black Eagle and Darrin Pro-Am. Ooh, and that one's out to the right. So we're going to head over to, that's the Stan Hyena. And for Richard Owens, that's going to be a 5. So that one stings a little bit for sure. Now we're going to move over to the Elevation Impala. This is going to be Kevin Koch. That's dead smack in the middle. That's going to be a good solid 10 points. The Shibuya Javelina for Jeff Hopkins, who came in with a 401, just 2 points trailing with 9 bonus rings. That'll be a nice solid 10 for him. Then we're going to move over to target 4. This is the Gold Tip Mule Deer, and this is our longest poke down there. That's Richard Teasley. And that's going to be out wide 8 ring. You can see the outer ring. Top of that ring is at 14 if someone wants to gun for it. We will tell you what the distances are in our next class that is a known category. But until then, we're not telling you anything because this is the unknown class, and they're still out on the field competing live. All right, so for Darrin Christenberry, he comes up with an 8.
12 selection is moved back.
So a couple 10s in there.
All right, we now have Kevin.
It's a 5. So now what happens is we're going to rotate. So Richard Teasley shooting the prime with that shirt right in front of you, left part of your screen, covered by the graphic. He rotates from the 4th position to the 5th position. So now he's on the Bo Doodle grazing doe. For Jeff Hopkins, he went over to that gold tip mule deer. That one's pretty far down the range. When the clock starts, each archer has 60 seconds or 1 minute to execute their shot. Right part of your screen is the elevation Impala facing away too. And that's Richard Owens who's going to be shooting on that target. Good shot. So now 2 scoring we go.
Who taught himself to shoot left-handed. 10 for Darrin.
So for Darrin Christenberry, who rotated over to the Stan Hyena, he gets a 10. Richard Owens, after that 5 on the first target, he rebounds. Does that hit the 12? So that lower ring that you see inside there, if you don't call the upper, and he did call the upper, I think. He did not call the upper. So if that's going to pull that line, then that should be a 12-point value for him and another bonus ring. And it is a 12. Yeah, that's what I thought. Looked like he'd called the upper. The position of his. So basically standing in front of the, or sitting in front of the archers, we actually have cones. And so the archers move the cone to the front position. And then that indicates they're calling upper.
10. I'm sorry, Kevin. 10 for Kevin.
So for Kevin, he's in with a 10.
Now for Jeff on the mule deer.
Over to the mule deer we go. This is the gold tip mule deer. And that one is touching the 8 line. So for Hopkins, an 8. That one saves him 3 points because that could have been a 5 a little bit lower. Then we go to Richard Teasley on the Bo Doodle grazing doe.
That's a long story. It takes about 5 minutes.
And for Teasley, he gets the first 12 of the day. He didn't call the upper, and he hit the lower. So in 3D archery, basically what happens is that lower of those 3 rings, the middle smaller ring in the middle of the Big Ten ring is irrelevant for this competition. So it's either the lower ring or the upper ring. Lower is always in play. You got to call the upper. Archers rotate over 1 position. So now Jeff Hopkins, right part of your screen, he's going to be on our 5th target, which is the Bo Doodle grazing deer. Teasley, who you're looking at right now, rotates over to the Stan Hyena.
The 5th arrow will go to 6th and final arrow to get our final winner of the evening. Make sure that Mr.
Looks like our scores are 422. Teasley at a 420, Hopkins at a 19. And Teasley there moved his cone. Looks like he's going to go for the upper. And that Stan Hyena is out there.
All right. Y'all ready, gentlemen? We'll start.
It is definitely our 2nd longest target that we have out there. Ooh, that looks good there. Christenberry trying to make some moves. Just a couple points behind. So this is the Stan Hyena with Teasley on it. A good look at his shot.
Second place is Richard Teasley, and we have a 10 for Richard.
So Teasley in with a solid 10. And welcome to the broadcast booth, Steve Anderson in. Hi, Steve.
Happy to be here. Happy to join you, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, man, we got off to a roaring start here.
It started a little quicker than I remember it, and
yeah, they were ready to go. And Richard Owens started off with a 5, and then he's doubled that up with 10-10. And then you have Koch and Hopkins both in with 10s, and Teasley and Christenberry in with 8s. And then it wasn't until we saw Teasley in the second of the arrows fired that it was a 12. Our first bonus ring of the day so far.
Kevin Cook.
yeah, this class we knew was going to be a little bit aggressive, and I think Richard told me even though he had the lead, he knew he had to be aggressive right from the jump. So, aiming at 12 rings and still playing the unknown game. You don't know what can happen.
Into 10 bonus rings. And now for Jeff Hopkins on the grazing doe.
Jeff Hopkins out there, the Bo Doodle grazing doe.
12 for Jeff Hopkins.
You center punch that one. Now, Steve, you and I know the distances, but they don't know the distances yet, so we're not going to say it. But in terms of distances, we know that target 5 is going to be, visually it's going to be the closest one we have out there. So that's always a good one to be aggressive on.
Yeah, it kind of helps to have that one last. Seems like they got that set up this way for, the ideal situation. If you're the number 1 qualifier, you get to shoot that last. You know what you need to do on it. So that is a nice little bonus there if you come in with the lead.
A good look at the cones that we were talking about. So if it's behind the sponsor placard, then that means that they're just going for normal lower. You got to put it up front if you want the upper.
We'll start your 1 minute now.
All right, so now the 1 minute clock is started. A good look at Richard Owens, who came in here as the leader, has now slipped down to 4th place. So Kevin Cook, our leader, at 34, Hopkins at a 31, Teasley at a 430. Just out a little left. And of course, Steve, we get into a situation where we have all of our 5 arrows complete. Anybody within 10 points of that leader is going to get to shoot our 6th arrow. That's the last chance, archery last chance arrow. And we'll break out a different target for that. We'll tell you what that is if we need it. But it looks like the way things are going right now for this Senior Pro category, our first of the day here of the Easton Hoyt Pro-Am, probably the whole field's going to get a chance to shoot it.
Yeah, got a tight one coming in here. These guys are kind of mixing it up, gonna get dancing back and forth. It's always exciting to watch a shoot-off that isn't going to be determined until that last chance arrow.
It was a good look at Richard Teasley. He's only his 2nd year as a senior pro, and the highlight is making it. This is your leader coming in here. He's now lost the lead, Richard Owens.
You could see that little bobble before the shot. He shot it, and gave himself a little bit of surprise there.
And our leader, Kevin Cook, 434 and 10 bonus rings. Let's see if he can extend his lead.
Richard Owens was our winner from the Black Eagle and Darrin Pro-Am. The last time we were shooting with Hopkins in 2nd. Harold Kogar, Scott Price, and David Pyle were your top 5. Those were the ones that made it in there. I don't know, Steve. What's your call on that one?
My call would be that it's out. I'd call it a 10.
But
I'm probably going to have a little bit different look than a lot of these guys, though. So
yeah,
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're right there and I'm over here.
That is true. So we go. Let's see. So Kevin Cook, 434. Hopkins, 431. And don't forget, we have the CBE 14 ring that's always in play. If someone's willing to take the risk, for sure. All right, so this is how we started off. So you can see left part of your screen, the Bo Doodle grazing doe. That was our number 1 position of Richard Owens.
And there they go. They just got the scoreboard update for us
At
going into
44,
round 5.
okay, 44-41 for Hopkins. Teasley in at 440.
We'll start your 1 minute now.
All right, so for Richard Owens, he's kind of on that bubble. He needs to have a nice solid 10 ring, maybe even a bonus ring. He's on the, for Owens, he's on the target closest on the field of play. Darrin Christenberry. Looks like he's on the gold tip mule deer.
Now these guys have gotten, 4 shots at this course already, so they've got a little bit better idea of where they were at on their other prior judging of targets, right? So they can know, hey, I'm about 2 yards short here, or I was 2 yards hot there, 2 yards low here. I have no idea where I'm at. There's a lot of things that come into play. And then you've also got the pressure of just standing there trying to make a good shot and shoot well.
A solid 10 for Kevin. That's not heard today.
All right, so for Kevin, he's in with a very solid 10. And I think that's the play that you make. This is our elevation Impala. And Hopkins. And yeah, that was a little bit English there.
Kevin 454. That is going to be, see, I would call that an 8. I won't be,
Yeah.
449.
I think you could see it on the release too. That was a bit of a surprise release for him.
Yeah.
So now we go to Teasley on the Shibuya Javelina. That's no question. That's a pretty easy one to call for anybody.
450 for him, so he's sitting current P2.
Yeah, he'll be second by 1 point, right, over Hopkins.
Yeah, 10 there for Richard. Or sorry, Darrin.
Solid 10 for Darrin.
448 for Darrin.
And still within 10 points, obviously. And now for Richard Owens.
So Kevin Koch coming in here just 1 point behind Richard Owens. Has put on quite a performance. Just the solid, steady performance that he needed to put in to lead this one as we head into our final arrow. The question is, who's going to be within striking distance? Richard.
I think he's going to get the call.
Is the cone up front?
That's a 14 ring.
Oh yeah, that's your CBE 14. And that is definitely where you want to go.
Yeah, he may. Yeah,
I think you got it.
I think he's going to get it.
All that arrow has to do is touch the line, and in 3D archery we call it pulling the line. So
yeah, I think they're looking to see if it's out, right? If it's not definitively out, then it's in. Gave him an 8.
Yeah, okay. So there's just that little bit of foam between the line and the arrow. And for Richard Owens, he had to go for it.
Puts him at 444, but he'll still get one more arrow in.
So we have all 5 of our competitors within 10 of the leader? Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, Richard's going to be in 5th, 10 back of our leader, Kevin Koch.
Cook.
There we go.
I know. Listen, I
That's what I get for not attending the pre-show meeting.
Yeah, but I have 6 friends over, like, in various places that all have that same last name, and they pronounce it in a different way. All right, so now what's happening is we're breaking out the Last Chance Archery Russian Boar. It's the Last Chance Archery, Last Chance Arrow.
Smokes. And they just found a whole pig back there.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Yeah.
It was like they had this planned. Yeah. They always try to hide it. This place is unique, though, Steve. Like, it is so bright here because you have floors that are off-white. They're very shiny, and you have this overhead lighting that this is probably the best that this category, of the senior pros, this is going to be the best for old eyes. Trust me.
But it'll throw you off. They just spent all the week shooting in the trees.
Yeah, it does. And some of the crew were actually saying that it kind of looks like ice. Like when you show up, you think
you could get out here and do some, bring your stick and gloves and
without question,
and a helmet. Yeah. I think there was a few making a run at having indoor archery on ice for the Winter Olympics. That was their hope for compound getting in the Winter Olympics. So just have them shoot on ice. Like, it's not a winter sport. Come on. It's done inside.
By the way,
It's
if you
winter
heard a
sport.
little bit of that, they were singing happy birthday to Darrin Christenberry.
Oh, I missed that, but
Yeah.
happy birthday, Darrin.
Yeah, Mike Terrell was trying to sing. I mean, it was
Look at
there
this.
was like stuff coming out of his mouth.
Look at this promo here. We got, they're showing, you've checked the box on the first 5. What is that 6-1 going to be? I like it.
Pretty good, right?
Had some ideas floating around the other day about what this last chance archery, last chance arrow could be. You know, currently we have on the ASA 20 targets, right? There's 20 standard targets. But Delta McKenzie, the target maker, they'll rotate a few in and out every year. So they've probably got, I don't know, 28 or so that are ASA eligible targets. And I thought, hey, let's, instead of doing 20, let's say we get 26 and they shoot 20 on the course, right? Every course will have the same 20. And then when they get here, they shoot a different 6. How about
Yeah.
that? How about that?
I like that.
How about that?
I like that.
It's a little something.
Yeah, get it on the rules committee.
Yeah, for those of you who may not know, the guys shooting unknown class will judge a lot of these targets based off just their initial visual belief in the distance, and they'll own a lot of these targets, so they'll know, you know, each one and how they'll view it at a certain distance. So to mix in 6 more targets could create just, you know, a nice little how do you say it, a little mix in the competitive nature of the game. It's just something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. And also, though, there are many tricks to judging your distance. Some people use the ground. Some people are going to use visual aids. Like, I know how big the sign is versus whatever. But additionally, Steve, keep in mind, we're in the Civic Center here. And part of the reason why these targets are at a slight angle and they're not, like, straight in the length of the room
Is because the bricks on the wall are 4 inches.
bricks on the wall. You can look at the tiles on
Or
the
6
ceiling.
They look like
you can,
6-inch bricks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're counting bricks, you'd be here all day. But
Yeah.
tiles on the ceiling, people were making jokes like how far apart are the lights up there and how many lights are there. I mean, there are ways.
Yeah, we used to have this
just for fun, he's going to shoot
at
the 14 ring for the entire crowd
a
to celebrate
indoor
his greatness.
football practice facility in Texas. That's
Right,
where this
Richard?
shoot used to be, in Paris, Texas.
You got it. But
And
all right, Richard.
I
we'll start your
remember
1 minute
they shot it
now.
off-centered from the football facility, but they allowed spectators on 2 sides. So I walked it, and I looked at it, and then I did the Pythagorean theorem. And then I went later and asked everybody. I wasn't shooting it, right? I was just there. And I was within a yard on every target.
Wow.
By doing that. So the unknown shooters could walk the sides and figured it out.
Good. That's why we don't allow them to do that. All right. So first up was Richard Owens,
He
who
went
was
for the 14.
he went for that
He was
CBE
looking
14
for it.
ring. Gets a little high on that
Yeah.
one.
This is
They put it down there, didn't they?
yeah, this target's at the back wall. So let's say that you're a
Just
competitor
off
and
for
you know
M5 for Richard
that
Owens. His final score is
the
gonna
long
be
target at the shoot down is going to be,
454.
you know, pushing max distance.
I'm sorry, 449.
That one was
Next up, Darrin
almost as far
Christenberry,
as the
currently
furthest
at
target.
448,
They did move the
6 points
cone
behind our leader.
a little bit forward of the standard
He
shooting
also has
boxes.
10
I don't
bonus
know.
rings, as do
If I had to take a
Kevin,
guess at
Jeff,
that, I would have been like, it's 40,
and
mid-40s,
Richard
a
still
little
has
past.
that
but
12
Oh, yeah.
bonus ring
Yeah, yeah.
advantage.
And the max distance here
All right,
at ASA
Darrin.
is 50 yards
About ready?
plus
Plus a
We'll start your
tolerance
1
of
minute
1.5.
now.
3%. So yeah,
Okay.
so you
Yeah,
get 1.5
Yeah.
yards. Yep. Here's birthday boy Darrin Christenberry. I don't know if today's actually his birthday or if they were just singing it
Just
to
be a
him.
little
'cause it's
celebration.
448, trying to go for that CBE 14 ring. Oh,
Just left of it.
Boy, what a
Is this a
judge though of
birthday
yardage.
bonus?
Yeah, he had
We're
that
not sure
nailed.
yet.
Old Darrin, man, he shot right-handed for
Hey,
many
Scott,
years.
it's your birthday,
Started
buddy.
struggling
Be
with
nice.
something there, I don't know if his shoulders or what it was, but switched to left-handed and has been grinding at it
Hey,
for 4 or
for
5
Darrin,
years. And he's back to being his
I-
normal
you
self,
won't be
very
celebrating your
competitive
birthday with
again.
him anytime soon.
And when I saw him
All right,
on
next up.
Thursday, I asked him about how he was practicing, and he said, "Look, go
Jeff
find
Hopkins
someone else
currently
for this
449,
shoot down because I'm going to make it."
5
He's bringing the heat.
That's right. And that's why I went to
Yeah.
you Thursday and said, "Steve, help us out."
I'm happy to be here. Apologies for being a little late.
We didn't even
Call it
notice.
a traffic jam.
Yeah, I bet.
The
Oh,
last
that's right.
pitch
Yeah,
is
if
an
you come
8-3,
down
can
the
finish no worse than
20 way,
third.
oof, the construction here can
We'll
get
start your
crazy.
1 minute now.
But Bossier City Civic Center, Bossier City, Louisiana, what an outstanding place. Camp Minden, Louisiana hosted qualification rounds and continues to host the amateur part of this. And what a facility we have here. As Hopkins sends it.
Looks like
Center
a pretty
mass.
solid shot. Yeah, it's solid 10. So he was going
Called for number 12.
lower 12. Yeah, he was yard and a half hot on that.
All right, so now you're Teasley, and you think to yourself, okay,
Solid 10 for Jeff
I'm 4
Hopkins,
points
moves him to
behind.
459.
if I miss because
All
of
right.
Hopkins 10, I'm going to
Richard,
go to
here's the
third
deal.
place.
You're 4
But if
points
I hit a
behind.
14,
You need 10,
then
10 points to catch
Kevin
second
Koch
place.
can kind of just hit center
If
mass.
you get to a 10 or better, you'll pass
I think
Jeff
right
in
here you're going
second
for a
place.
12, right?
If you catch a 14,
Yeah, your play is for the
you're gonna
12 because
force
then Kevin needs a 12 to win.
your
10
competitor
to tie.
Kevin to try to
So,
shoot a number to beat you.
Yeah, right here I'm playing for
However,
a 12. I'm going to try to
if you
push him
miss,
to
you lose out on second
another
place
arrow.
money.
Unless
So,
the
strictly
tiebreaker
up
comes
to
into
you.
play here. I can
Whatever
never
you
remember
want.
how that
You
works.
can't see it?
Sorry.
All right.
But yeah, I'm playing for a 12 right here.
God love you.
And look, this is the senior pro class, so this is 50 plus, and the conversation
Number
here
12 was called.
in the Civic
So
Center is,
start your
can you
1
see the
minute
14
now.
ring? And Richard's like, no, I can't see the 14 ring. You'd like to, but it's down there quite a ways. There's reflections coming
Yeah.
off the floor. It's
Honestly, this is really bright lighting, but many times through a peep sight and through a scope, this makes the targets appear very flat, and it's hard to actually define definition on them.
last chance archery, last chance arrow.
It's a 12. He shot for upper, though.
He shot for upper. He did.
He shot for upper, so it's a 10.
Yeah, he moved the cone.
As the man
to
once
go
said,
for
it's
upper, ends
nothing
up hitting
until
that
they call
lower.
it, But right now, it looks pretty good.
Yep, it's a 10. Sorry for the false alarm. he's making a clarification to
A
them
solid
so
lower
that they know.
12 for 10 points. Congratulations. That puts you in second place.
But what he did right there was he maintained second place. So, and now at this point,
At
an 8
4,
is going to do it.
Been
All
down
right,
that road
Kevin.
30 many times when you
You
call
need
the
an
upper,
eight
and
to
you just hit
win.
that lower, or you don't call it and you hit
So
that
you
upper,
could
and you're
shoot
just
for
like,
the
man, I
14,
should have.
Yeah.
Miss it and still win.
It's tough for these guys to come from
And we'll
shooting
have to have you
outdoors in
examine.
that dark environment where you're in,
So as
wooded
soon as you're
tunnels
ready.
to shooting here. And also
All
not,
right, start
right,
your 1
this can
minute
affect how
now.
you're going to view everything. It can affect your sight tape, and then you also don't know how far anything is. So
Yep.
you never really know what you're working with. You're chasing a lot, whether it's sight tape, judging. Even the left and right can be affected. It's very tough. Solid 10 does the,
Oh, looks like
does
a
the trick.
solid shot.
For Kevin Koch, a great win for him with a nice solid 10 center mass, and the 2011 ASA Rookie of the Year taking home the victory at our third round at the Easton Hoyt Pro-Am. Coming at you from the Bossier City Civic Center in Bossier City, Louisiana, the Pro Pressure Point Shootdown. And that was the 5th arrow of our last chance archery, last chance arrow on the Russian boar. So the conversations happen, and we're going to grab an interview with our winner for the Senior Pro category, Kevin Koch. So Kevin came in here in the second spot, 1 down, able to put a stamp on that. Congratulations. Kevin, tell us about that victory today.
This weekend was a tough weekend judging and dark tunnels, and then we switched to a different range. It's totally different terrain, and today I kind of started off good, but then I started, I had shot 3 8s and 5 targets, and I had to regroup and start shooting again, try to adjust myself mentally, and I hit a few 12s there at the end to stay even for the day and 2 up for the weekend. So I'm just happy to be where I'm at right now. It's unbelievable.
And how was the transition into the ice skating rink here with all the bright light?
Yeah, it's different. The lighting indoors is definitely a challenge. That last target, everybody, it's tough seeing that one, but it's different.
Well, congratulations, you did it, man. Pro Pressure Point Shootdown champ here at the Bossier Civic Center, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, thanks.
All right, well done. And that's what happens. Anything can happen. We'll be right back to Bossier City, Louisiana for more of the 2024 Delta McKenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour, our third round of the season. It's the Easton Hoyt Pro-Am, and it rolls on after this.